Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis, Anne Arundel County, and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, April 11th, 2023. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief presented by Annapolis Subaru and the SPCA of Anne Arundel County. And just like the locusts, they appear, and after 90 days, they go away. Midnight was Sine Die, and today marks the first day of a beautiful time of year, spring, and the city is devoid of most of the legislators, and the tourists have not quite come out in force just yet. Enjoy it. All right, we do have some news today, so let's get into it, shall we? 90 days, more than 2,000 bills discussed, and nearly 600 passed. Now they move on to the Governor Moore's desk, who was not expected to wield the veto pen quite like Governor Hogan did. The biggies this session were a constitutional amendment to protect abortion rights, a tightening of the gun control laws, how we're going to handle marijuana sales, wind energy. And with the governor and legislature in the same party, it was a relatively easy session with very few fireworks, and Governor Moore got all of his issues through, although there were fewer watered down a little bit. He does plan on starting signing the bills a little bit later on today, and there are several more Sine Die soirees planned in the next few days before they all go back to their home districts. Grace Cavallari is Maryland's Poet Laureate since 2018, and she is coming to St. Luke's Church in Eastport on Earth Day, April 22nd, to give a performance on the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. St. Luke's is planning a full weekend with a concert on Friday evening and a big arts festival on Saturday, and it is all free. You will definitely see me there. Hey, and a big congrats to Kim Hovell. While she has only been on Main Street for less than a year and only in a retail location since 2019, she is celebrating 10 years of her beautiful oysterfront art. And on April 20th in her store on Main Street in Annapolis, she will be celebrating with live music, an oyster shucker, of course, door prizes, and giveaways from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., so that's another place you'll see me as well. Congratulations to Kim, and boy, I do love her artwork. And today it is Ticket Tuesday, and it is a special one with lots of stuff to give away. At Ramshead on Stage, get in touch with me if any of these tickle your fancy. Booker T. Jones on Thursday of this week. The Steve Morse Band on the 22nd, or DC's Reflecting Fools, which is the reincarnated Capitol Steps, on the 23rd. Maybe baseball is more your thing. I have 6 more pair of tickets to give away to any home Bowie Baysox game this season. These are box seats, so they are low and close to the field. Just pick your date and enjoy an evening or an afternoon at the ballpark. Or perhaps you may be into power boating. I do have 4 tickets to the Bay Bridge Boat Show this weekend over on Kent Island. Just get in touch with me and let me know what you'd like to do, and you may score some freebies courtesy of Ramshead, the Baysox, or the Annapolis Boat Shows. And please do check out all the other upcoming shows at ramshedonstage.com that are coming up. There are a bunch of great ones. I just saw one with Devin Allman and Donovan Frankenreiter coming up. All right, that is a wrap, but first a quick thank you to you for listening and sharing and letting your friends and colleagues all know about us, and to our sponsors for the Daily News Brief, Annapolis Subaru, the SPCA of Anne Arundel County, Solar Energy Services, Hospice of the Chesapeake, and the Maryland Higher Education Commission. So now you just need to hang tight because we have George Young from DC MDVA Weather standing by with your only locally forecast weather report, and Scott MacMullan from Scott MacMullan Law is back with another legal brief. All that coming up in just a bit.
Opening weekend for the Bowie Baysox on April 14th, so make your way out for the best affordable family fun at Prince George's Stadium. Friday and Saturday night, the best fireworks shows in the region follow the game. And with a 1:05 start on Sunday, you can get a special ticket package for a pregame egg hunt or come out and run the bases postgame. Get your tickets now by calling 301-805-6000 or anytime online at Baysox.com. The Bowie Baysox. Let us be your 9-inning vacation.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be. So you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMD VA weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMD VA weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMD VA Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Tuesday, April 11th. Yesterday brought a very nice start to the work week for the Annapolis region, and today through Friday will keep it going as students return to school across Anne Arundel County today following their spring break. Look for sunny highs today in the low to mid 70s across the Annapolis area, to be followed by more sun tomorrow, with highs in the upper 70s to lower 80s, with some slightly breezy winds as well, with more sunshine expected Thursday and Friday with highs in the low 80s each day, before some clouds move in late Friday or overnight into Saturday morning, with a chance of a few rain showers both Saturday and Sunday as highs remain above average in the mid 70s to maybe low 80s in spots. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DC MDVA Weather. Make it a great day out there today. Stay healthy and be safe. Don't forget, follow DC MDVA Weather on Facebook and Twitter for regular updates each day, along with the website at dcmdvaweather.info, so you can always stay weather informed.
Coping with advanced illness can be overwhelming, and determining the best options for a loved one isn't always so easy. But here at Hospice of the Chesapeake, your hometown hospice, we want you to know you do have a choice. You can choose exactly who provides the care and the type of care you receive, and it's your decision when and where your loved one receives that care. We have served our community, family, and friends for over 40 years. We are there when you need us. Learn how we can help at hospicechesapeake.org.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. Have you been looking for ways to save money recently? Maybe you should consider solar energy for your home. Or are you waiting for the technology to get cheaper? If so, how long are you going to wait? Today's solar costs less than 20% of what it cost 10 years ago. But while solar prices have declined every year, so have the financial incentives. Bottom line, if you wait for cheaper solar, you're also waiting for lower incentives. Take my home, for example. My solar system was installed in 2010, and it's been paid off for almost 5 years, and I no longer have to buy any electricity for another 15 to 20 years. If I waited for cheaper solar, I'd still be paying an electric bill. At Solar Energy Services, we have thousands of satisfied customers who are sure glad they didn't wait. So what are you waiting for? Sunshine's a wasted. Call us today for a free solar design at 410-923-6090 or on the web at solarsaves.net.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
You never know when you might need an attorney. It could be when the lights light up on the police car behind you. Or maybe you have $1 million idea and need to incorporate. From wills and trusts to car wrecks and arrests, Scott MacMullan with the Annapolis-based Scott MacMullan Law, LLC, is here to offer some insight for you with today's legal brief.
Hello, Annapolis. This is Scott MacMullan, and this is your legal brief. Expungement. Or is it a case being shielded? So do you expunge a case or do you shield a case when you want it to go away? Well, if it's a criminal case, then you want to expunge it after you get a disposition. If it's a civil case that you don't want people to see, you do what's called you shield it. You shield it from public record. So we need to start off with that. You expunge a criminal case, you shield a civil case. Are you eligible for an expungement? Well, you're eligible. There's certain misdemeanor convictions may be expunged after 10 years. Certain felony convictions and domestically related misdemeanor assault convictions may be expunged after 15 years. And you can, of course, get a pardon from the governor. And then after 10 years or within 10 years of getting that pardon from the governor, you can file for an expungement at that point. So you can certainly expunge a case from public record if you've been acquitted of that charge, it's been dismissed, you've gotten what's called a probation before judgment, the prosecutor, the state's attorney has chosen to not move forward with the case, which is called nolle prosequi. The case has been steaded after 3 years, or you get a not criminal responsible. You can certainly expunge those type of cases. If there's a guilty disposition, then you have to look at the time period and what kind of crime it is. If it's a misdemeanor, of course, you're going to be able to expunge it after sooner in time than if it's a felony or more serious misdemeanor in general. Of course, that is the case. You want to expunge a guilty charge, again, criminal offense that is no longer a crime. This has happened with a lot of marijuana convictions. They can now be expunged because a lot of them aren't a crime. If you want to expunge something, you're expunging your criminal case from public record and all the state entities that have had records, like the police officers, any sort of state agency that's had a record of this crime. They have to take it off their books. And it usually takes anywhere between 2 and 6 months for them to do that, fulfill that expungement. So a lot of times I'll get a call, hey, I need this expunged by tomorrow. That's virtually impossible. It's going to take some time. So you really want to think this through and get your expungement in advance, so you can move forward, feel comfortable when you apply for that job, that something like that's not going to come up on your record. And of course, if it's a civil case, a lot of times protective orders are something that are eventually dropped, and people want that shielded and not shown to the public for good reason. Even if they're completely dropped, the protective order was sort of made up, maybe it was frivolous. People don't want that, even if it was dismissed, don't want that shown to the public. So then they do what's called a shield. So expungement for criminal cases, shield for civil cases. And of course, if you have any questions or concerns about this, feel free to give us a call. It's Scott MacMullan Law, LLC, 443-494-9775. This is just information. This is not advice. If you need legal advice, give us a call. Again, at Scott MacMullan Law, 443-494-9775. Thank you so much.
Did you get close to completing your college degree but dropped out during the COVID pandemic? Well, as a near completer, you may be eligible to receive money from the Maryland Higher Education Commission to finish your degree. Again, if you started your degree but for whatever reason never finished it, the Maryland Higher Education Commission has money to help you return to college and finish what you started. Go to mhec.maryland.gov and click on the Near Completer grant to learn more.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.